the smartest film critic in the world, Cole Smithy.
Hi, this is Cole Smithy with ColeSmithy.com and your guide to what to see and what to avoid at the movies this week. For a decidedly no-frills spy thriller, Kenneth Branagh directs a respectable rendering of Jack Clancy's shop-worn Jack Ryan character. Still, Branagh is no action film director, and it shows. Chase scenes cut away too quickly for the audience to savor the dogfights on display, as when Jack, played by Chris Pine, rides a motorcycle at a 120-degree angle against a concrete lane divider in hot pursuit of a bomb-packing terrorist. What should be a heart-in-your-mouth moment gets lost in a throwaway quick cut. Equally to blame for its systematic failings are the film's screenwriters. Adam Kozad and David Coep get in over their heads in attempting to construct a narrative based on Tom Clancy's characters rather than on a specific novel by the deceased right-wing author. Every plot point has a mechanical feel to it. Narrative gears grind. Even when the action heats up, it doesn't always carry over into the scenes that follow. As the title suggests, the story tells the onset of Jack Ryan's career as a covert CIA operative. A drawn-out yet busy first act introduces Jack as a mathematical whiz kid who also happens to be a fit physical specimen. Chris Pine proves to be a casting coup. He's a powerhouse actor along the lines of George Clooney. As with his impressive work in the rebooted Star Trek franchise, he carries a grounded sense of gravitas.
What the hell is going on here?
Sometimes the ones closest to us are the ones we should trust the least. We all have our secrets.
Pine puts a fresh face on the Jack Ryan mantle formerly worn by Alec Baldwin in The Hunt for Red October, Harrison Ford, Patriot Games, and Ben Affleck, The Sum of All Fears. He's better than all of those portrayals combined. Pine's Jack Ryan has the intellectual persuasiveness to balance the boyish twinkle in his eye. There's a hint of easygoing humor that resonates against the nuance-free politicized material on hand. Ryan falls romantically for his physical therapy doctor Kathy, played by Keira Knightley, after a helicopter crash in Afghanistan leaves him barely able to walk. Knightley and Pine don't share the strongest on-screen chemistry, but the pairing is serviceable enough. As Ryan's secrecy about his day job tests Kathy's trust, his immersion as a point-of-the-spear spy deepens. Jack's patriarchal CIA mentor, Thomas Harper, played by Kevin Costner, assigns him a trip to Moscow to head off a Russian plot to crumple the U.S. economy, led by banking mastermind Viktor Shevrin, played by Kenneth Branagh. A first kill sequence inside Jack's Moscow hotel steals liberally from Casino Royale, the James Bond picture that established Daniel Craig as the new face of 007. Still, it makes the point that Jack is equipped to handle surprises. Branagh's acting duty as Russian baddie Viktor Shevrin allows the classically trained actor to melt scenery with a thick accent that withers those of weak constitutions. Jack Ryan is immune. Branagh's tightly wound performance is a cool reminder of what actors mean when they talk about creating a character. Victor is so diabolically evil, you can't help falling for Branagh's slow burn intensity. One scene in particular, in which he tortures a female hostage with a fluorescent light bulb in the back of a moving van, is delightfully reptilian. Branagh, the director, shrewdly veils Victor's evil persona in a shroud of mystery. Another layer of intrigue arrives in the form of Mikhail Baryshnikov's uncredited role as a ruthless Russian mob boss. Between them, Branagh and Baryshnikov create a credibly malevolent climate of simmering violence.
Will you believe it?
Oh my God.
Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit is little more than a filmic placeholder until the next James Bond picture arrives in October of 2015. It may pale by comparison, but Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit nevertheless gets the job done. I give this fair spy thriller a B-. My sleeper pick is Mercedes Sosa, the voice of Latin America. And my guilty pleasure pick is I, Frankenstein. My must-have DVDs are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from Kino Classics, La Vie de Bohème from the Criterion Collection, and Buying Sex from First Run Features. Hailed by none other than Francois Truffaut as the father of the French New Wave, Roberto Rossellini's cinematic influence grew out of the neo-realist style he mastered while making his trilogy of anti-fascist World War II films, of which Germany Year Zero was the last. All three films were made in the years immediately following the end of the war, and as such exhibit the fresh scars of wounds inflicted on landscapes and civilians alike, none more so than in Germany Year Zero. In Rome, Open City, made in 1945, Rossellini examined the oppressive social climate in Rome during a period when the city suspended defensive efforts against the Nazi occupation in an effort to protect Italy's national treasures. Paisan, made in 1946, employed 6 episodes set in various Italian locations such as Florence, Sicily, and Naples to create a cumulative vantage point on the Italian wartime experience. For the trilogy's coup de grace, Rossellini did the unexpected. He traveled to Berlin during the summer of 1947 to chronicle the effects of Germany's defeat as witnessed through the eyes of a motherless 13-year-old German boy. Rossellini dared to provide a humanist look at the dreadful effects of World War II on Germany's civilians. The recent death of Rossellini's 9-year-old son Romano during an emergency appendicitis surgery played a key role in Rossellini's choice to center the narrative on a young protagonist. Berlin's bombed-out streets set the film's mood. Tons of rubble and overgrown weeds clutter every street for as far as the eye can see. Decked out in lederhosen, Edmund is 2 years too young to obtain a permit for his temporary job digging graves for a few pieces of bread smeared with honey. His fellow German grave diggers expose Edmund's lie for not pulling his weight, and he flees the cemetery. A few blocks away, Edmund begs for a piece of horse meat being stripped from an equine corpse being cut open by the starving masses. He is denied. At home, Edmund's ailing anti-Nazi father wonders aloud if death might be better than the physical suffering he endures. Unable to assist the family, Edmund's burdensome older brother, Karl Heinz, a former Nazi officer who fought to the bitter end, hides in their cramped apartment rather than turn himself in to be locked up as a prisoner of war. At night, Edmund's sister Eva flirts with American soldiers in cabarets in exchange for cigarettes and trinkets she can use to barter for food. It is up to Edmund to act like an adult and come up with creative ways to contribute to the family's survival. During his travels, Edmund meets his former teacher, Herr Enning, a Nazi pedophile whose sexual intentions are obscured in a speech he gives in response to Edmund's request for food to help his father. The weak are destroyed so that the strong survive, he tells Edmund. One must have the courage to let the weak die. Edmund's interpretation of Herr Enning's stern lecture sets up a fatalistic decision on the young boy's part that leads to one of neorealist cinema's most shocking yet inevitable climaxes. Rossellini described realism as nothing other than the artistic form of truth. And here, his quest for such authenticity refutes any idealized criteria of life-affirming value. In war, Rossellini seems to say, it is the innocent that suffer most. Thanks for watching, and visit colesmithy.com for more.